Breaking news right now on CBS Colorado Mornings at 9. Several federal agencies are carrying out immigration enforcement in 4 locations right now in Aurora and Denver. The biggest one we've seen so far is at Cedar Run Apartments. This is near South Oneida and Leetsdale in Denver. The 3 Aurora locations are Whispering Pines, Fitz on 14, and Edge at Lowry Apartments.
Now, the Edge of Lowry Apartments in Aurora has been in multiple headlines since last summer. This is the same complex this video came from earlier this year, putting Aurora on the national stage in the immigration debate. And since then, we've told you about several more issues, including gang-related crime and terrible living conditions. Well, now it's a scene of one of the immigration operations. As we mentioned, DEA agents are serving search warrants in support of those operations.
CBS News Colorado learned about these operations just before 6 this morning. First Alert traffic reporter Brian Sherrod was one of the first on the scene in Denver. And since then, we have more of your reporters live in the communities they cover. Your reporter in Aurora, Michael Abatha, is at the Whispering Pines Apartments. That's one of 3 locations in Aurora. But we began with your reporter in Denver, Kennedy Cook, who has been at the scene of the Cedar Run Apartments operation for several hours now. Kennedy?
Hey, Michelle. The emotions here right now are extremely high. As you can hear, there are plenty of protesters out here asking for folks to stand up and fight back. But as you mentioned, we are currently on Leetsdale and Oneida at the Cedar Run Apartments, where I myself have witnessed several individuals in handcuffs being taken away. It was confirmed this morning that this is an ICE operation. I confirmed that with the FBI. And as you mentioned, several agencies. That includes the DOJ, the Department of Homeland Security, multiple agencies, all hands on deck, but also the community out here voicing their concerns and trying to be advocates for those in this community. I spoke with one individual who says some of her students are actually inside of this apartment building, and she's truly very concerned for their safety.
I'm here as a witness, and I know that their rights are that they don't need to open the door if there is not if there's not a signed judicial warrant. And so, yeah, we're making sure. Well, we're doing our best to make sure, but I think mostly witnessing because they're all scared and they're stuck in there. So there's not a lot I can do right now to help them, and that's really hard as a teacher.
Yeah, Michelle and Brian, I mean, to her testament, definitely feelings of emotion and fear and lots of anger here at the Cedar Run Apartments. And again, I've witnessed people of all backgrounds, all ethnicities being taken away on several buses. As you can see, that police presence is still extremely high. More and more community members showing up to express their concerns and frustrations. This is something we'll be sure to continue to stay on for you all, and we'll keep you updated here on CBS Colorado Mornings. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to y'all.
All right, Kennedy, thank you so much.
Your reporter in Aurora, Michael Abatha, is joining us right now. Michael, we know you're at the Whispering Pines Apartments. This is at 13th and Helena. And what are you seeing right now?
Well, Michelle, you know, this is the complete opposite of what Kennedy's experiencing over there. I showed up about an hour ago to this scene. They had the streets closed down, and they had agents from the Department of Homeland Security. They had a Bearcat out here, and they were going through this apartment area. But right now, it's just quiet. There's really no one here. We saw a couple of Aurora police officers on a golf cart drive by a few moments ago. But other than that, very, very quiet. Now, like I said, when I showed up, they had all these streets shut down. They were going in and around this apartment area, the Whispering Pines. But then eventually, they did bring out several people with their hands tied behind their backs with some of those zip tie handcuffs that you see. And then shortly after that, they just evacuated the scene, and it was all quiet here. Now, this was a Department of Homeland Security operation. It was very clear. They were identified. There was identifying markings on the side of that Bearcat type of truck that they had and they were operating out of, and then they brought people out and took them away. So far, I've talked to a few neighbors, but people are just starting to get here. Neighbors say it started very early this morning, and one neighbor told me that the first thing she saw was an airplane that was circling pretty low. I did see that airplane also circling when I got here. Unfortunately, a lot of those people are just very scared to go on camera right now because when they learned it was immigration, they were afraid for their own safety and well-being out here. And so they have all pretty much stayed inside since about early this morning. So just a lot developing out here, but it is very quiet. But we can confirm Department of Homeland Security was here, and they took people into custody. In Aurora, Michael Abatha, covering Colorado. tomorrow first.
All right, Michael, we know you'll be keeping an eye on this all morning long. We're going to see you at noon with an update.